Hello, welcome to Pebblebrook Village. I am Penny, and this is weekly Trashfire Tarot for the week of May 4th. The month of May is a deep dive into our emotional depths to explore very Plutonian themes of the Five of Cups. This is because we are being guided to be receptive to the message found in the second decan of Taurus, the Six of Pentacles, where the full moon was. That's the overall theme of this month. You can find that in the month ahead for May. I would recommend listening to that as well as I think, the themes and cards and everything talked about in that will carry over into the weeks ahead as we look at the micro under that umbrella for the subsequent weeks of May. This month also marks our first monthly guided meditation that is meant to go along with the month ahead forecasts that post on the first of the month. These are being provided by the very gifted Patricia Sybeck, who is the newest villager contributor for Pebblebrook Village. The meditation will be with the rest of the Trashfire Tarot episodes and will be posting tomorrow or Monday along with this episode. All right. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the week ahead for May 4th. For the energy for this week, we have the Eight of Cups. This is the first decan of Virgo. More on that in the summary. It's very mercurial, very analytical, to a fault sometimes, and like we talked about in the month ahead for May, we need to be mindful of the urge to be perfect. Perfect is a toxic modality. It is stagnation. It is stubborn. It is not concerned with growth and will not entertain the notion that we make mistakes constantly. And that's okay. And we need to release that. We need to lean into the sister mercurial energies and other mutable sign of Gemini, where Uranus is. We have to be mutable. We have to let things go, move on, and build new. Overall, this is very positive energy that signifies making great progress on projects, creative endeavors, anything that you are pouring your efforts into. We are feeling the hard work pay off. And we also have to be receptive to learning new skills and how to show up in different ways as we navigate a world that is in this deep state of transformation. The world around us is on its own Plutonian submarine journey, and that will feel disruptive. It will feel like we are being thrown off course, and know that you aren't. Things change, and sometimes it's at the drop of a hat, and we can't control it. We have to be adaptable, and the Eight of Pentacles is a reminder that we have the abilities inherent in us to adapt and to learn. So why is this here? We have the Queen of Pentacles. So something started burning in Aries season. Saturn set up new containers to explore. Mercury brought ideas with it from the dreamy Pisces. Whatever you felt inspired by or even enraged by during Aries season, let's lean into that right now. As we go through Taurus season, remember slow and steady, with intention, quality over quantity. With this determined patience, you will find your courage and confidence. Maybe you are being reluctant about starting something new or existing in a certain way, but whatever it is, you for sure have the power in you. And this is also a reminder for us not to isolate. Find quiet time. Make sure you are resting, absolutely, but do not isolate yourself. Share skills and knowledge. We must really share more. It's critical. So Uranus will be disruptive. It will open up paths that you have not considered, but we must face these new paths with courage and confidence. And how do we work with this? We have the High Priestess. And this is a card very connected to the cycles of the moon. There is a crescent moon at her feet. This card also deals with life, death, and seasonal cycles, as symbolized by the pomegranate above her head, reminiscent of Persephone and Ceres. And honestly, really reminds me of a Scorpio moon. There are those Plutonian themes linked, with life and death and cycles and transformation and Persephone. And but there's also, the symbol of the moon cycles, the crescent moon at her feet. So I definitely see this as just another imprint of that moment on May 1st, and what may have what depths we may have like started diving into to try to excavate and release things that no longer serve us. And this is just a reminder along that way. Everything we get for May is really looping back to both these Mercurial, Venusian, and Plutonian themes. This is shadow work. This is intentional time with ourselves. We are digging deep into our core to find the courage that the Queen of Wands remind us is inherent in us. And we own that courage, and not one person can take it from you other than yourself. We are so prone to being in these perpetual battles with, past variations of ourselves. We are continuing the journey that the Five of Cups, our submarine, set us on in the month ahead. So and this is also like, how do we deal with this? Trust your intuition, go with your gut, reclaim your spiritual power, your creative spark, reclaim your authentic self, and be confident in what you can accomplish. All right. So, the energy for the week was the Eight of Pentacles. Show that again. All right, and this is, like I said, the first decan, representative of the first decan of Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. This decan is specifically also ruled by Mercury. So it is very Virgo, sort of just that pure 0 degrees Virgo vibe. Mercury just moved into Taurus. It is at 0 degrees Taurus. It is connecting with the energies that Uranus activated when it sat at this threshold some, 7+ years ago. Uranus is now in the Mercury ruled Gemini. This is a huge year, in my opinion, for Mercurial things. I think several of the personal planets are having a huge moment this year, which is something I plan to go into more outside of Trashfire Tarot. But Mercury is in Tarot now, and like Venus before it and Mars after it, Venus comforted and overwhelmed and exhausted Uranus at 29 degrees Taurus, and then ushered it into Gemini, where they spent a brief time together there until Venus moved on. Mercury is now going to be traveling through that energy, and I'm sure it has notes for when it meets up with Uranus. And I think Mercury and Gemini, when it moves into there, it'll be a big moment for this year. All right, so let's look at the clarifier for this week. Okay. We have the Page of Wands complementing the Queen of Wands. Um, this is a reminder that you have that confidence, right? Um, you have that courage. It's inherent in all of us. It is yours. Like I said, people can't take it from you. We get in our own ways a lot of times, and doubt ourselves, and project, and get in these loops of toxicity, etc. Um, but it's there, and in the Page of Wands, sum up this very um, inward look this week of exploring, how we can be courageous, what our confidence is, what our goals are, what are we working towards, what are we doing to get to that distant shore from the month ahead reading, right? Um, but it's got to stay young. It's got to stay hopeful. It's got to stay curious. Um, it's got to be able to make mistakes. We cannot be burdened by perfection. All right. So, in summary, collectively, spiritually, this energy for this week indicates that we're attaining inner wisdom through intentions, meditations, creating spiritual practices, routines, etc. If you have been working on developing your spiritual gifts, this is a time for those intentions and commitments. You might see them to start paying off. Um, Queen of Wands brings that Aries energy that we experienced, coming before Taurus season, and especially Neptune in Aries, where this sort of spiritual initiation into new things occurred and new ways of being. Something that was likely initiated back in, January, February, and is really bursting out of you now. Don't hold back. Be genuinely, authentically, weirdly you, and the courage will follow. All right. One last thing. I wanted to mention briefly that the United States is currently drilling illegally on Lakota land. It is a disaster. It is a human rights violation. Um, it's Neptune and Aries, oil, resources, war. This was a country founded on genocide and land theft. It keeps doing it. It has for 250 years, and this needs to stop. And if that means there's more of Mars putting the torch to the facades, represented by Neptune, putting the torch to these illusions, putting these torch to these institutions that are lies that do not serve us and are extracting and destroying this world, then so be it. Um, you know, this isn't something that's going to be reported on in a great deal. So if you are listening to this, please share that this is happening. I will have some relevant links in the show notes for this. Um, not a single elected official is doing shit for this. And in my opinion, neutrality is culpability. So I again, kind of to some of the points I made in the month ahead, red or blue or anything in between needs to be taken out of office if they think this is okay. And not saying anything is speaking very loudly again, in my opinion. And they do not serve anybody if they don't serve everybody. We've got to really, really start holding people accountable. This is unacceptable. All right, we will get there. It's a heavy month. You know, and with the Ten of Swords being the signifier card for the month. Um, and again, the Ten of Swords is completion. It is release. We will be letting go of stuff that is holding us back. Um, so I mean it when I say we will get there. There might be throughout this month some tough conversations with ourselves and with others. But remember the Queen of Wands and the confidence that you have and the tools you have to navigate those the best that you can. And that's all anyone can ask of you. All right. Um, if you're listening to this and you get something out of this, please share. I would love to see my audience grow. So if you know anybody that might enjoy this, please share this with them, and get that out there. Um, but other than that, I will see you all next Monday with the following week ahead. So until then, love you all, and I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.